Hey guys, so this is the how-to video for archetypes for the Pride sheet. Okay, so we've already done the inferences and reading strategies, and if you need to look at those again, there is a how-to video on my how-to videos YouTube channel on how to do those, but today we're doing archetypes. So we did do archetypes over 2 weeks because it's kind of a complicated topic, and in addition, you need to be pretty far into your book to be able to talk about archetypes. So I wanted to give you an entire extra week to read. So we talked about it over 2 weeks. The first time we talked about it was on January 27th, and the second time we're talking about it, weather permitting, will be on February 3rd. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is remember that on the 27th, we did archetypes notes, and I did move that. That's week 4, but I moved it up into week 5 because we're going to use it again. Okay. And so you have an archetype cheat sheet, which you'll just use. And honestly, you'll probably be using that well into high school and thanking me for it and thanking kindly on how to do that. So there's, we talked about the different types of archetypes. There's archetypal characters. And guys, this list is minimal. There are tons of archetypes. These are just some of the most popular ones, okay? So take a look at those. There are also archetypal settings. So crossroads, this is a place of suffering where a decision must be made, and it has to be a place of suffering because if you aren't suffering, you're probably not going to make a decision, right? Then there's also the underworld, which literally could be like in a book, could be like a basement or a cave. Like it can take on different formats in a book. The maze, the labyrinth, the castle, and then there are archetypal journeys. And again, this does not have to be physically your character actually like physically going somewhere, although it could be like a quest for revenge. To get revenge could happen all in third period in one class day. Right? So it can be flexible in how it is presented. Okay, so then this is just a sheet that you will just use as a reference. You're not going to do anything to it. Then we also, this was all from the 27th, we also took notes on archetype Cornell notes. They were not that long. You were supposed to write your own name. Our goal, our learning target was to be able to identify major archetypes in your novel and explain how they fall within a pattern. And then we just had a couple of vocabulary words: archetype, hero, and villain. We watched these 2 videos. Okay, so sorry, there's the notes. We watched these 2 videos, which you are welcome to watch. They're really good videos. And we got the definition for archetypes for our Cornell notes right out of this first video, which is called What is an Archetype? Okay, so let's go back to our Cornell notes. In a different color than black, please, you're going to write your definition, which is an archetype is identified by a behavioral pattern and the reflection of that pattern in a story. There are archetypal characters, settings, and journeys. Okay. And then down below is an example of a book I was reading at one point. And this is similar to what you're going to write. Okay, so you're going to do something like this on your own Pride sheet. So let's go into the Pride sheet now. Okay. So when it's time to do the archetypes, which is this, hopefully this Thursday, the 3rd, you're going to go down to the Pride sheet almost near the bottom. Okay, where it says archetypes, identify and describe archetypes in the text and how are they demonstrated. Okay, so literally, guys, what you need to do is show me the goal is always twofold. Okay, the goal is to show me that you are reading and understanding your book. So reading, understanding the book, but also that you're understanding what archetypes are. So the way you're going to do that is write me a very detailed paragraph about the archetypes, a couple of specific archetypes in your book. Okay, you need to do the protagonist and the villain, right? Or the antagonist. You just have to do those. And then you can either do, we'll talk about this more, but I guess if you're watching this video, you weren't here. So you have to do at least 2 more. So I chose to do an archetypal setting and an archetypal quest, but you may not know that you have that, or maybe you want to discuss other characters, which again, you can pull off of this archetypal cheat sheet. Maybe you do have the underdog or a temptress or a mother figure or an innocent. So maybe you want to talk about other characters instead of settings and journeys. Maybe you want to talk about 3 characters instead of settings and journeys. Okay, but you need to talk about 4, and you need to make it very clear what you're talking about. So for me, in my sample example, I made things, I underlined, italicized, and changed color. But basically, I just want to make sure my teacher sees that I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so here's my example. This is from a real book I read. My protagonist, Allison, see, I named her so my teacher knows that I'm not just making it up, is an archetypal hero. Okay, now prove it, Miss Wainwright. Allison is a hero because, oh, look, I'm proving it. She perseveres in solving mysteries despite the danger. Oh, that's one thing heroes do. Okay. The villain, I could have said antagonist also, but villain does come from the archetypal cheat sheet, so that's good. Okay, although, yeah, monster or villain, so I pulled it right off the cheat sheet, right? So I could have said antagonist, I could have said villain, but I need to make it clear to my teacher that I know what I'm talking about. So in this case, the villain has not been identified yet, but I know they are the murderer. This character murders someone for personal gain. So see, that's something a villain does. So I'm proving to my teacher that I know what I'm talking about and that I know what a villain is. Okay, and even though at that point the villain had not been named in my book, I knew who they were, which is the bad guy. Okay, now Allison, now I'm going into how I'm on my archetypal setting. Allison has to make a decision about a relationship with Crawford, so she's at a crossroads, an archetypal setting. So not only do I name the archetypal setting, but I say, this is an archetypal setting. Hey, teacher, I understand. Let me show you I understand. Okay. Again, this makes her at a crossroads or an archetypal setting because she has to, because she has to make a decision. And that's what happens at a crossroads. Allison is on an archetypal quest, excuse me, to know who she is. Again, archetypal quest, that's a journey. Allison has to decide if she is going to date again after her divorce, if she is going to put herself at risk by investigating murders. Woo! Okay. So you need to cover 4 archetypes, at least 2 characters, and then you can do 2 more characters, or you can do a setting and a journey or whatever. Okay. I hope that helps. All right. Bye.